Hey guys, I'm here in my garage this morning detailing a little bit, just getting a couple things done pretty quickly really, and I was thinking to myself, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that happens in the auto detailing business is where detailers end up deciding to put their focus. And while this seems really trivial and simple and straightforward, I think when we break it down, it actually gets way more important and a little bit more in the weeds than you might have thought. And so I want to share with you guys, I think the number one biggest mistake that beginners in the auto detailing industry make, and I want to share with you guys a bit how I overcame that kind of pitfall that I think traps a lot of detailers into making no money and really not building a profitable detailing business. First of all, when you're beginning in the auto detailing industry, it's extremely confusing because now that social media plays such a huge part in the detailing industry, you end up chasing 10 rabbits and catching none because people are talking about this brand and this business and this being the best type of product to buy, and you get this information overload. In college, my chemistry professor talked about it being like drinking from a fire hose. You're really thirsty, and while there's a ton of water available there, drinking from the fire hose is actually a terrible idea because you're not going to be able to drink any, it's going to be painful, and it's not going to work. You're not actually going to quench your thirst. And in a lot of ways, that's what happens in the detailing industry now. There's this information overload, and it's not actually helpful. And with that information overload and the play of social media in the detailing industry, you have this thing developing that I call the detailer's ego. And what happens is you have these comments on posts, and these posts made by detailers where they're detailing Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and while I do that as well, and I actually appreciate that kind of clientele, you end up looking at that and saying, okay, unless I do detailing this way with this product, then I'm not going to be considered a real detailer. And so rather than your focus being shifted on the business and the entrepreneurship, profitability, revenue aspect of the actual day-to-day business where your focus should be, it ends up being put on products, tools, guessing which ones are going to work, wasting money in that area. And what happens is as you're building your detailing business, you have this curve that ends up peaking at some point and kind of climaxing at one point, where then you reach the point of diminishing return. And here's what I mean by that. When you're starting in the detailing business, you see this slow and sometimes fast but steady increase because you're basically going from 0 to 1. You had no business in the beginning, and now you have some business. And so there's this instant spike or instant increase in your revenue, in your business, and your products, and it feels on a surface level like you're growing really, really fast, and it's exciting and it's exhilarating, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the strategies that I'm implementing are working. And you're climbing this hill going up, 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 and up. And then at some point, most people don't realize they meet this point or reach this point, but at some point you crest this hill and you feel like you continue to move up, but the revenue, the numbers in your business actually show that you're going down, and you plateau at some kind of mediocre point where you just end up staying. And while you feel like you continue to go up, it takes too long for people to realize that they actually are not. Now, one of the most obvious examples of this in my own experience, as well as many other detailers, is this. When you start your detailing business, you get this influx of calls. If you set up your website right, your social media pages, your marketing, you do all of that well, you get this influx of new customers, and you're saying, yes, I've got this $150 detail, $350 detail, I just made $800 this week, oh my gosh, people are calling me all over the place. And once again, it feels really, really, really good. And then about 6 months goes by of that happening. And at some point, the light bulb goes off in some people's head, not everybody, but at some point, the light bulb goes off in some people's heads, and it says, wait a second, in order for me to keep growing my business, I'm going to have to keep pushing really hard this marketing thing to get new customers. I'm not holding on to customers. I'm not actually increasing my revenue at any standpoint because, once again, I'm not holding on to customers. Each sale is a new customer. It's a new sale. And because I have no strategy in place to, over time, reduce the amount of time, reduce the amount of energy, and reduce the amount of product I'm putting into my business, I'm not actually creating, over time, a greater margin for myself. So what ends up happening is, again, it feels really, really good going up and up and up, but then to some people, and I hope most people, the light bulb ends up going ding, 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 wait a second, I am going to have to continue working at the pace I'm working now in order to increase my revenue, and right now I'm not even increasing my revenue because I don't really know how to put more hours into the business. And then on top of that, the detailer's ego has kicked in, and so you feel like you're not doing enough work, you feel like you're not using good products because you're scrolling through social media and the Instagram Explorer page, and you're seeing that all these guys have these insane Lamborghinis and Ferraris that they're using CarPro products on, and they're using Chemical Guys products on, and they're using Meguiar's products on. And while I like those companies and I use products from all of those companies, there's no specific structure or system in place that allows you to designate specific products to, once again, over time reduce costs and create margin. And this is a really, really big issue here in the detailing industry because, once again, most businesses in general aren't actually profitable and don't really make money, but even more so in the detailing world, most detailing businesses do not make money, are not profitable, and end up shutting down over time. And I would kind of liken this to if you had a handful of darts and you're playing darts on the wall, you know, with the dartboard on the wall. You have a handful of 10 darts and you just close your eyes and throw those darts as hard as you can at the wall, and 20% of those darts end up sticking to the board, but 80% fall. So you have 2 darts out of 10 that stick, and 8 of those darts fall to the ground. And my question is, in the detailing business, how do we reverse that ratio to where I'm holding the darts in a certain way, I take the blindfold off, and I move my arm in a certain way where 8 of those darts end up sticking and only 2 fall to the ground? And that is where I think most people are going wrong in the detailing business. They're thinking like detailers, building up a detailing ego, but not thinking like a business person or how to build a profitable business as an entrepreneur, wrapping detailing around this kind of thinking. And so it's unfortunate in my opinion, but I think a lot of times in social media, the reason why I talk so much about the business aspect of detailing is because in the detailing world online, you find a ton of product reviews, you find a ton of people talking about comparing products and doing torture tests and all these sort of things. And while of course that can be helpful in the right situation, if you cannot profitably implement detailing strategies to create revenue in your business and margin over a long period of time, where eventually you can leverage your time, work less, put in less hours, but continue to increase profits, then it doesn't really seem like something that's very helpful or worth it to actually start building this kind of business. And that's why I think this conversation is so necessary. Now, the 2 biggest ways that I've found to solve these problems, well, actually, let's say the 3 biggest ways to solve this problem is, number 1, stop scrolling through social media. It's probably not going to help you in your auto detailing business. But number 2 and 3, first of all, you want to build a marketing machine that ends up working for you without you having to continue to generate new leads. This is done online. It's something that I'm going to release and teach in this online course that I'm creating right now. It's taking some time to finish this course because I'm dialing it in to make sure that it's the best necessary information so that when you get done with it, it is absolutely exactly what you need to know. And it takes time to distill down that kind of really good information. So number 1, you need a marketing machine that works without you having to put more time and more money consistently into it. I call it a self-filling funnel. If you think about a funnel, you know, pouring water into a funnel, you can pour it in kind of crudely. You don't need a lot of aim, but as it goes through the funnel, there's a very specific aim for the water. And if you're pointing that funnel into a bottle, no matter how crude you pour the water in or how much lack of aim you use, that water is going to be funneled into a very specific place because of the way the funnel is designed, not necessarily the way you're pouring. This is the way I think of marketing in the detailing business. We need to build a funnel that is very specific and very aimed so that while we get a huge influx of customers from all different places, backgrounds, different people, those people are funneled into a very specific place. And while it might be kind of crude as far as I'm casting a wide net, getting a ton of customers in, I get the exact type of customer I want out of that funnel. That's number 1, and that's a marketing machine that works for you without having to put in a bunch of time. You put in time on the front end to build it, but once you step back, it begins to run itself. The second solution to this problem is building a very substantial list of maintenance clients. A maintenance client in my world is defined like this: a client that I see on a regular basis at maximum within a 2-month time frame. In other words, if I see a client every 3 or 4 months, I don't actually consider them a maintenance client. While yes, they're a regular client, a maintenance client falls into 60 days or less. Building up a very healthy amount of clients like that, let's say 100 of those, then that's 100 people you are going to see on every 2 or 3 month basis, whatever that might be. The car is clean consistently, you know exactly what you're getting into consistently, and you're getting paid the same amount consistently. Reducing your time, reducing your product, reducing the energy put in other words, reducing the input, but maximizing the output. And that's where you begin to leverage time, leverage product, and over time, create margin for yourself. Guys, that being said, I don't want to keep this video too long, but hopefully that kind of helps shift the perspective a little bit into a business mindset rather than just strictly detailing, because I think the best way to think of this is, yes, I love detailing. Yes, it's a great thing to be passionate about detailing, but you need to make sure that that passion is wrapped and guarded by a good business structure in order to make that passion something that you can actually enjoy to do on a daily basis, because it's producing fruit and producing revenue as it should. Guys, if you like videos like this, smash the thumbs up button below. It really helps videos like this rank in the YouTube algorithm. So if you want more detailers because you think this is good information to see this video, then smash the like button, because it will get out to more detailers like you and me. And if you're not yet subscribed to the Wilson Auto Detailing channel, then smash the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so that when I publish videos like this in the future, which is every other day in the summertime, you get notified when videos like this go out and you don't have to miss it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and being involved. And from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you in the next video.